Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lab Manager's Product in Action webinar series. My name is Krista Grant, and I will be moderating this discussion, Say Goodbye to Microplastics Particles, the Ultimate Lab Water Solution. We like our webinars to be very interactive, so we encourage you to submit your questions to us at any point during today's webinar. Our speaker will address these questions during the question and answer session following their presentation. To ask a question or leave a comment, simply type your query into the Q&A box located on the right-hand side of your screen. We will try to address as many questions as possible during our time together. If we happen to run out of time, I will forward any unanswered questions to our speakers and they will respond to you directly if possible. I would like to remind you that this webinar recording will be available on demand shortly following this presentation, so please watch for an email from Lab Manager on how to access this free video once it becomes available. I would also like to invite you to visit our handout section for more information about this presentation. Finally, I would like to extend a special thank you to our sponsor, Sartorius. Their support allows Lab Manager to keep these webinars free of charge for our readers. With that, I would like to introduce our presenters for this webinar, Evelyn Marshall, Product Manager, Lab Water with Sartorius, and Kunal Kuraja, Application Scientist and Project Leader with Sartorius. Evelyn and Kunal, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Krista. Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to our presentation with the title Say Goodbye to Microplastic Particles, the Ultimate Lab Water Solution. So let's get started. This is the agenda of our presentation. On the first slide, you will see today's presenter, followed by a short presentation about who is Sartorius. Then we will dive into the topic of microplastic. I will talk about the experimental setup, the results, and sum up our study, which we conducted with external vendors. In the last part of this talk, Evelyn will introduce you to our new RE Mini Extend. Our today's presenters are Evelyn Marshall and I, Dr. Kunal Correa. Evelyn earned her degree in microbiology from Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich and joined Sartorius in 2009. Throughout her tenure at Sartorius, she has held multiple roles in sales and marketing. Currently, she serves as the product manager for the Sartorius Lab Water portfolio. And I have a doctorate degree in analytical and preparative chemistry from University of Kassel, and I started my journey as a scientist for Lab Water portfolio at Sartorius in summer 2022. On this slide, you will find our contact information. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact us. And now I would like to give over to Evelyn.
Thank you, Kunal, and hello everybody also from my side. First of all, I want to give you a brief overview about our company, Sartorius. Sartorius was founded 150 years ago from Florence Sartorius after he invented the short beam analytical balance. Later on, in the beginning of the 20th century, the filtration technology was added to the portfolio of the company by a joint venture with Richard Zsigmondy, the creator of the membrane filtration. Today, the Sartorius Group is a leading international supplier for pharmaceutical and laboratory equipment for all kinds of needs. Here are some numbers about Sartorius. At the moment, we have 14,500 employees worldwide, located in more than 60 locations. Our sales revenue is about 3.4 billion euro, with a profit margin of about 28.3%. We are investing heavily into our capacity and into the future as we target for climate neutrality in 2045. Very important to all of us are our company values, which are sustainability, openness, and enjoyment. Those are the basis of all our activities. Let's have a look at the Sartorius Lab Water technology, as this is the topic of today. With our REM portfolio, we offer cutting-edge water purification for laboratories and the industry, with advanced technology in reverse osmosis, ion exchange, and UV treatment. Our range of solutions cover different systems like the Arium Mini, a small compact system, with the Arium Pro and Arium Advanced, Arium Comfort, where you have combinations of pre-treatment and purification to type 1 water. Our solutions include systems for ASTM type 1, 2, and 3 water, and we are a trusted partner in the pharma, biotech, diagnostics, and many more. And now I hand over to my colleague, Kunal.
Thanks, Evelyn. So now let's dive into the part of the microplastics. So in the first half, I will walk you through the topic of microplastic and show the health issues caused by the exposure of microplastic particles. And in the second part of my presentation, I will talk about the study we conducted to determine microplastic particles in ultrapure water. So what are microplastic particles? The definition of a particle to be microplastic has to fulfill few criteria. The first one is that the size is important. A particle in the range between 1 to 5,000 micrometers in diameter is considered as microplastic if it has composed of synthetic polymers and are typically derived from petrochemicals. There are two sources of microplastics. The first source is that the particles are introduced to our environment as microplastic itself, such as in personal hair care products like cream, lotions, and etc. The second source of microplastic is that they degrade itself from larger plastic components due to eco-factors. Plastic in all range accumulate in the oceans. There are 5 huge plastic islands, as you can see here. The one in the North Pacific has a size of 4 times of Germany, and you can see here. And those plastic components bring serious environmental challenge to get rid of them. And as we know, they are persistent. And they will eventually degrade in smaller particles, end up in microplastic size, and they are then ate by marine animals and end up in our food chain where they accumulate in our bodies. So next, I would like to talk about the pathways of human exposure. So fumes and dust from industries and cars can be inhalated, which can contain microplastic particles. The second, what's mentioned, is the skin care products. These also contain microplastic particles and can be absorbed by the skin. And finally, also due to the accumulation in the food chain, we are exposed to the particles itself. The next part is the impacts on human health. And here are few to name. There are oxidative stress, organ dysfunction, DNA damages, erection dysfunction, hormonal imbalances, and many, many more, which can be caused from microplastic exposure. Now I will walk you through the results of our microplastic study in ultrapure water. So first, I will display the equipment and the experimental setup we chose. This study was conducted in an external lab who are specialized with microplastic analysis. The system of our choice for microplastic study is an Arium Pro VF TOC system. This system is able to convert purified water, often mentioned as DI or RO water, to ASTM type 1 water with a conductivity of 0.055 microsiemens per centimeter And this system is equipped with an UV light, a TOC analyzer, and an ultrafilter with a molecular weight cutoff of 5 kilodalton. The water sample were filtered through a silicon filter with a pore size of 1 micrometer. And those filter pads were then analyzed via Raman imaging microscope from Thermo Fisher. And we also did some spiking experiments with traceable standard polystyrene beads with a size of 10, 25, and 70 micrometers. And we made a solution of 20 liter in a PE back tank with these traceable standard polystyrene beads. And every sample we collected was a liter in a glass bottle. Here are two exemplary Raman microscope images, and on the left-hand side, you see an image with microplastic particles, and on the right-hand side, there are none particles on the filter pad. So then we measured the limit of detection of our system, of our Raman system, and this was calculated by the sum of mean number of the particles from 7 analyses of 1 liter blank samples and adding 3 times deviation to it. And here is the list of our limit of detection, and these values have the unit numbers of particles in per liter sample. I will walk you through the field of polypropylene in the size range of 1 to 50 micrometers. They were found 1.3 numbers of particles per liter. From 50 to 100, they were 2.9, and from 100 to 500, they were 6.6, and above 500 micrometers, they were found 1.3 particles per liter. And with this, I would like to move on to our study. So the first question we were keen finding out was if the AriumPro VF system leaches out any particles into the product water. So we installed our AriumPro VF system at the vendor's place in the purified water loop. We also took water samples of the tap water, which fed the purification water loop, then the purified water, and finally the product water. And the magenta box here, you can see, represents the AriumPro VF system, and the teal star mark the point of samples. And all analyses were performed twice. Now getting to the results, we see here a little amount of particles in the water samples, although they are all below the limit of detection, and this way we cannot be certain if those are really particles or just system artifacts. Also here, I will walk you through the field of polypropylene. We see particles between 0.05 to 3.5, although comparing this with the limit of detection, which is shown here, they are all below the detection limit. Now, the second set of experiments we conducted with the idea if the AriumPro VF system can reduce the amount of microplastic particle in feedwater. Therefore, we introduced a high contaminated solution of microplastic particle in our feedwater. And this, also here, the magenta box represents the Arium system, and the teal star mark the point of samples. Also for this study, all analyses were performed twice, and we connected our system to a PE tank from a local hardware store and filled in with purified water and spiked this with polystyrene beads with a size between 10, 25, and 70 micrometers. Furthermore, the water in the PE tank was stirred with help of a magnetic stir bar. So now getting over to the results of the study. In the first gray column, it represents the result of the spiked solution. So in the range between 1 to 50 micrometers, there were 84 particles. In the range from 50 to 100, there was 46.5, and from 100 to 510 particles per liter. Here we can see that the new PE tank, which was bought from the local hardware store, leaches out particles. And this water was then consumed from our Arium Pro VS system, and we took samples after 9, 14, and 19 liters. And these samples show no amount of polystyrene beads in the product water. As a conclusion, we can say that microplastic particles sourced from either personal care products, such as lotion or creams, and also they degrade from larger plastic components. Furthermore, the microplastic particles have a huge impact on nature and human, causing many diseases. I hope I was able to demonstrate that the Arium Pro VS system does not leach out any microplastic particles in the product water, and it can efficiently remove polystyrene beads from the feed water. And with this, I would like to give over to Evelyn, who will now talk about our new Arium Mini Extend. We anticipate that similar to our Arium Pro, the new Arium Mini Extend can be used for microplastic related study, and the purification steps are comparable to the one to the Arium Pro VF.
Thank you, Kunal. So I will now introduce to you the new Arium Mini Extend that has been added to our portfolio of compact ultra-pure water systems just a few weeks ago. It really fits into every lab. And what's the value proposition to our customers that we give with this device? Taken together, it's maximum flexibility in one compact design. When we developed the Arium Mini Extend, we had our customers in mind who have only limited lab space, because we know lab space is very expensive. Very many people only need up to 10 liters of type 1 water per day, but they require flexible water dispensing options for dispensing into various vessel types and vessel sizes. The Arium Mini family that this device belongs to is available in various versions. You can choose a system depending on the feed water that is available in the lab, depending on the application requirements that you have, and on your preferred dispensing options. This gives you an overview about our current Arium Mini portfolio. You can see that there are 5 different versions and that we have different solutions for different kinds of feed water. There are systems that can be used with pre-treated water, but there are also some that can be used with potable tap water, and you can either connect them to your lab water supply directly, or also use a version that can be manually filled. Versions are also available with removable dispensing unit for more flexibility, and with integrated bank tank to store the intermediate water when pre-treated water has to be stored. All versions are optionally available with UV lamp if your applications require a low TOC level. Let's have a look at the system setup. We have here an all-in-one system. That means we combine the display, the operation, and the dispense unit to minimize the footprint, so the system stays really small and fits into every lab. With a large 4.3-inch touch display, we give our users excellent visibility and an intuitive menu navigation. The flexible dispensing unit is removable and mounted with a magnet to the system, so you can either use it manually while holding it in the hand or keep it in the system while dispensing. The system operation. It's really easy to operate all our Arium Mini system. The Arium Mini Extend is activated by the dispensing unit, so the system gets active once you remove the dispensing unit from the holder. We have a very intuitive operation with direct access to all functions and dispensing options via the menu. We simplify the recurring volume dispensed as we display the last dispensed volume in the display and make it accessible at any time. If you need to adjust the volume, this is also very easy because we allow numerical volume setting via the display. We are also able to handle small volumes, and you can dispense volumes down to 50 milliliter with the system per dispense. The remote dispenser. By attaching it to the system directly, we keep the footprint very small and make the system fit into the lab environment. We are adjustable to different vessel sizes because the removable handheld allows ergonomic and splash refilling into a wide variety of vessels. We have the highest flexibility because we have dual control of the system. You can either control it via the system display or the dispenser. This is true for the manual dispensing, which can be started both ways. Also, the volume setting is possible either numerically via the system display or with plus minus via the handheld. The last dispensed volume is also accessible via the display or the handheld, depending on what you prefer. One of our most important advantages is the back tank technology. We do not use plastic tanks anymore because you have to clean them regularly. Instead, we use a 5-liter disposable bag so that no cleaning with hazardous substances is required. The bag can be exchanged in only 5 minutes, what minimizes the downtime on the system. And you can be sure that you always work on a fresh base and do not have to fear residual impurities or contamination. The 8-liter per hour reverse osmosis module that is included in the system allows a fast refilling of the bag. It takes only less than 38 minutes to refill it completely. And at any time, you can clearly see the tank volume displayed in later on the display. The consumables also make it easy to use the system. We have a cost-efficient solution because we have separated cartridge packs that can be exchanged separately, so that you only have to exchange what is required. We are sustainable because our cartridges are filled with 1000 milliliter of resin to allow efficient long-term operation. And we have a customized solution because you select if you need a UV lamp or not based on application requirements. So with this, I thank you for your attention and feel free to ask any questions that you have.
All right. Thank you very much, Kunal and Evelyn, for a great presentation. At this time, we are ready to move into the question and answer portion of our webinar. A reminder for those of you who may have joined us late, you can send in your questions or comments by typing them into the Q&A box on the right-hand side of your screen. Another reminder to please visit the handout section on the right-hand side of your screen for supporting information for this webinar. With that, let's start with our first question from the audience. Okay. In the second experiment, did you try flushing the system with more pure water to see if the microplastic beads were washed out? If so, what were the results?
I will take this question. Indeed, we flushed our system with pure water and took samples after 3 and 5 liters to see if any microplastic beads were flushed out of the system. And we saw that no microplastic beads were in the water sample we took after flushing out the system.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kunal. All right, so the next question is, I have an Arium Mini Essential. Can I upgrade it with a flexible dispensing unit?
I think this question is perfect for me. Thank you for asking. It's a great question. So, if you already have an Ario Mini, it's not possible to upgrade the existing system with the external dispensing unit. There are different reasons for that. For example, the system structure. So whenever you purchase or think about purchasing a system on Ario Mini, then you have to decide before the purchase if you need the additional flexibility or not. Our sales team will be happy to support you to find the best solution for you and show you the various options that we offer. So feel free to reach out to us. And if you already have an Ario Mini, but think that it would be better to move to one of our new Ario Mini Extend, then also please contact us. Then we are sure that we can find a solution.
All right, thank you. Okay, so the next question is, do you anticipate different reduction behaviors for other types of microspheres compared to polystyrene beads?
I will take over this question, and I think the reduction will be the same as for polystyrene beads, because we could show in the first setup that no plastic particles were released in the water sample, and because the Arium Pro VF system has an ultra filter, which has a molecular weight cutoff of 5 kilodalton. It filters out all microplastic beads.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the next question is, what types of microplastics were found most in your water samples?
The most microplastic particles which were found in our water samples were either polypropylene and polyethylene, and they were efficiently reduced in course of the purification steps.
Okay, thank you. So we have a few more questions here. The next question is, does the Arium Pro VF system also reduce other chemical contaminants such as volatile organic compounds or PFAS?
Indeed, we have done different studies for emerging contaminants such as volatile organic compounds, PFAS, but also trace metals. And we were able to show that the Arium Pro VF and other Arium systems are able to reduce the amount of PFAS below sub PPT level or in single-digit PPT. For VOC, so volatile organic compounds, the threshold right now is below parts per billion, and we were also there able to show that the contaminants were below the detection limit.
Okay, great. So we have time for one final question here. So the last question is, are there other lab water systems that can convert in-house tap water to ultra pure water more than 10 liters per day?
Yeah, maybe I can take this one. So yes, of course, we have a broad portfolio of lab water purification systems for various requirements and also for different kinds of feed water and different daily water consumption. So as introduced earlier, the Ario Mini, as mentioned, is our solution for small to medium daily water consumption. And there is also an option to use it from tap to type 1 water. If you also have tap water available in your lab, but need a higher daily consumption, then our Arium Comfort line would be the perfect solution for you. The Arium Comfort is also a system that combines pre-treatment with the purification to type 1 water in one device. So you either have type 1 together with type 2 or type 3 as required. There are also different systems available depending on the flow rates that are required for the pre-treatment of the water. And this intermediate water is then stored in an external bag tank, which is also available in different sizes. You can really choose whatever you need depending on your daily water consumption. And what is important with DRM Comfort, you have one system, but you have two types of water, because you can use the pure water and the ultra pure water. And you can also use, for example, the pure water for an autoclave or a dishwasher if it is required. I hope this answers the question.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I see here that someone commented just saying that it was a really wonderful session and saying congrats and thank you. So this does bring us to the end of this webinar. Thank you for your time. Thank you for submitting such great questions. On behalf of Lab Manager, I would like to thank Evelyn and Kunal for all of the hard work they did put into their presentation today. And I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Sartorius. Their support allows Lab Manager to keep these webinars free of charge for our readers. For more information on all of our upcoming or on-demand webinars, or to learn more about the latest tools and technologies for the laboratory, please visit our website at labmanager.com. We hope you can join us again. Thank you and have a great day.